Hello everyone and welcome back to the 88th episode of PandTha Talks. That felt weird to say.
Hello.
It's been a crazy week. I've finally, after all this time, when I pre-ordered Starfield all that time ago, completed it. Which is... last week I spoke about like the one quest I really enjoyed. And then I completed the campaign and was like, this wasn't worth it.
Extremely let down.
Yeah, it ended so suddenly. It's like, oh yeah, right, you've got all the artifacts. Just use your grav drive and you will turn up at the place where you've been aiming for this entire time. Turns up. Yeah, so you either turn back around and fuck off, or you go through and start New Game Plus. See ya. Okay. That's it.
Certainly sounds a tad disappointing.
Just a bit, yeah. The New Game Plus is a cool concept because it feeds straight into like the main campaign and what it's about. But at the same time, it's one of those things where I'm like, could have been better. Could have been much better. I install it afterwards because I'm like, I'll probably give them time to sort out the DLC because I've heard that's got a lot of problems at the moment. So leave them out there.
Typical for Bethesda.
Yeah. It's kind of what you'd anticipate, to be honest with you.
It's just standard for them, you know. It's just what you expect at this point.
Yeah. So
actually, it's what we've expected for the last decade.
Very true. So instead, what I decided to do was download a 2058 modded Skyrim mod pack and indulge.
Totally in at how much storage? 350
It has taken up precisely. Let's have a look here. Right click properties. So this number's just going to keep increasing for a little while. We'll get back to that. It's still going, and we've gone over 100 gig so far. It's quite large. 150? 200?
Oh my god.
250? Yep. 273. 273 gigabytes this mod pack is.
And can we get a check on Skyrim's standard file size?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I can do that. I can do that indeed. So settings, storage.
So we're talking base game here, no mods.
Base game is 14.99 gigabyte. The rest of that is the other.
Just a
tad.
Just a small couple of mods.
But I mean, it completely transfers the game, and it brings me to be honest, where I'm wanting to talk today. So I'm going to quickly go over the rough topics for the week, and we'll get into talking. So first topic will be regarding a lead Skyrim designer arguing that Bethesda's primeval creation engine is perfectly tuned to the studio's needs, so an Unreal Switch probably isn't in the cards. After that, we'll be discussing the possibilities of a Hogwarts Legacy Definitive Edition, which is apparently reportedly in the works. After that, it will be an article regarding how you can help Hurricane Milton relief efforts by playing Xbox games, apparently, which I think's interesting. And the next topic will be about something I've been dreading to cover for a while, but it needed to be done. Steam is now making it clearer what you're really buying. By that, what I mean is Valve had a lawsuit because they didn't like that they were kind of like the only place that was being demanded of doing this, when Xbox, PlayStation, all that haven't been demanded the same. And basically, it's telling them that when you buy a game, you are not owning that game. You are owning a license to play the game. A digital license. Which everyone knows already. There's literally no change. It's just Steam's now actually obligated to tell you. So we'll be discussing that in a bit more detail. After that will be a unique event in Japan gave scientists unprecedented insights into gaming's mental health effects. This could
So we're gonna
go
see how
either,
much violence games really cause.
yeah,
Good.
this is either going to go amazing or absolutely dreadful for the views we've been pushing all the for the last like 2 years.
Yeah, I can't wait to see how this plays out.
Yeah, and finally, Xbox Cloud Gaming may finally let you stream your non-Game Pass purchases soon. Which, if that's the case, that's pretty good. That means that even if you don't have it on Game Pass, but you've bought it on like the Xbox Store, you can still stream it to another device.
I mean, you own the license for it, shouldn't you be allowed to?
Exactly. And they're apparently going to start actually rolling out the feature next month, which I think is a great idea. So, with all that said and done, let's get into episode 88.
Why is it always Nazim? Huh?
It's always Nazim, brother.
Who the
Always
hell wants to
Nazim.
see him? He's an asshole.
So, before I switch over, I do need to quickly say, if anyone does enjoy this episode, feel free to like, follow, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff, and enjoy the episode. Right. Let's do this shit.
So what are we starting with?
We're starting with the lead Skyrim designer arguing about Bethesda's old creation engine 1.0, which I don't know if you know this, but when they created Starfield, it wasn't just Starfield, there was another game before that, I believe. But Starfield was the primary contender using the new creation engine 2.0, which is what they created after they realized that due to them using the same engine for Skyrim, Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, I think Oblivion, they kind of realized, oh shit, this engine is actually being obliterated by all the years of just shoddy work we've put into it. So they needed to fix it up. And that's why 2.0 came. But this guy seems to believe that the original creation engine is perfectly suited. So let's see what this guy says. In an interview with video gamer ex-Bethesda developer Bruce Nesmith, I don't know, defended the studio's continued use of its proprietary creation engine and predicted that the RPG giant would likely stick with the tech in the future, even as more big-name devs like BioWare, CD Projekt, and Halo Studios, formerly 343 Industries, trade in their bespoke game engines for Epic Games' ubiquitous Unreal. That's kind of a scary thought. Like, I'm not shocked that CD Projekt Red has, because they don't have any real, like, stuck to an engine. Similar to BioWare. Halo Studios, I'm a bit shocked that they have. But I suppose it gives them more time to work on what they actually need to sort instead of fucking things up like they did with the last game. But it just kind of concerns me that it's Epic, because at any point they could add something to their license agreement and cause a lot of problems. We'll see another Unity issue.
Even without them doing that, if more and more developers switch over to the same engine, we're gonna start to see the diversity of games just grow smaller.
Oh yeah.
Because I feel like that's one of the big differences between a lot of different games is they have their own engines. A lot of people make their own engines, and the games then obviously play out completely differently.
Yeah, depending on the engine, depends on really like a lot of the finer bits and details. It's nothing that's gonna like make or break a game. You can still make tons of different games in the same in different engines, but
It feels like everything is very different whenever it's on a different engine.
it definitely can be. I mean, one of my favorites, I must admit, was the I don't know if you'll have seen it, but it's like a game maker engine, and it's for like 2D pixel based sort of games, and it's primarily used by indie artists. And yeah, that's really well done, to be honest. Lovely, I'm being called out by an advertisement. Ironically, the creation engine itself is based on licensed middleware similar to Unreal. Bethesda used the Briar's engine to develop the Elder Scrolls Morrowind and Oblivion, as well as Fallout 3. Ah, I didn't know that actually. So Obsidian's fan favorite Fallout New Vegas is also part of this little family tree, with the creation engine underpinning Skyrim, Fallout 4, and even last year's Starfield, iterating on its earlier engine. Yeah, so Skyrim and Fallout 4 were pushed on the creation engine, so it took 2 games for their engine to completely kaput and need upgrading. That's a little bit concerning, Bethesda. Gamebriar creator Gamebase appears to have gone defunct at some point after the engine's last update in 2012, but Bethesda itself continues to carry it forward. And you're working off a very old engine. No wonder you're suffering with some, issues, to put it lightly. The long-term reliance on the same technology can also can result in tech debt. The manifold ways that errors, shortcuts, and other quirks in digital industry can calcify and have knock-on effects over time. Nesmith points to this as the primary reason why Bethesda might consider an engine switch. There are parts of the Gamebriar engine that I would not be surprised to find out that Bethesda can no longer compile, because the original source code just doesn't compile anymore. You just got to use the compiled stuff as is. Even still, Nesmith doesn't think a fresh start is in the cards for his former employer. That I found very bizarre. Basically means that the code is just unable to actually feed into the program anymore. It's just not possible. So now what they're having to do is having to take the code direct, the part of the program direct out of the program to utilize in other places, which is terrifying to me. Like, why would you continue to utilize this at this point? And if I recall correctly, Creation Engine 2 was pitted as being this thing that they were going to create from scratch. I suppose this just really sums up everything about Bethesda, doesn't it?
Making things as difficult as possible?
Yeah, exactly that.
Yes.
Exactly that. We're arguing about the game engine. Let's argue about the game, Nesmith said. The game engine is not the point. The game engine is in service to the game itself. You and I could both identify 100 lousy games that used Unreal. Is it Unreal's fault? No, it's not Unreal's fault. Meanwhile, they said the creation has been constantly tweaked, updated, and refined to do exactly the kind of games that Bethesda makes, and yet it breaks every time. Didn't say that bit though, did you? They offered a ballpark, a year or two of technical work just to transition the company and any completed work on its next project, The Elder Scrolls 6 from creation to Unreal, and then more work beyond that to tune the engine to tune the game to work in it. A secondary concern would be the transition's effect on the modding community, effectively wiping the slate clean for modders as well. While Bethesda modders have their own tech debt, by Nesmith's estimation, the developer cited the ubiquitous script extenders need for an update every time a game gets updated as an example. The engine transition would also invalidate much of the collective knowledge, skills, and tricks the community has developed moving forwards. That would be a bit of a nightmare for the modern community.
It would suck, but let's be honest, with what they've done already, they'd probably manage.
Oh yeah, it'd take them. I would have to say it'd probably take them 2 to 3 years to get back to where they understand where they need to go from there.
Yeah, like you would still probably see mods getting released left, right, and center. And after a bit of time has passed, you'd start to see more refined stuff, maybe overhauls coming out.
Yeah.
Whereas at the start, it would be more cute quality of life mods,
Oh, definitely,
smaller things.
definitely so.
At the same time, though, you got to ask yourself, would they want that? Like, do they want something new? Because at the minute, all they've been doing is just basically fixing Bethesda's game.
Yeah,
If they were to switch engine, if they were to switch engine and have to start fresh, because if you look at a modder's perspective, you kind of feel like that's the whole point of them doing it. Is they like the challenge of it. They want to learn something new.
yeah, I'd agree with that.
As after the amount of years that Skyrim has existed, the only real change they had was the anniversary edition that got released, but I doubt
Yep,
there was really much change to overall.
there were little bits and
So
bats, nothing major.
yeah, but for them it was probably next to nothing.
Oh yeah,
So you gotta wonder, did they want something new at last?
that's the thing. I think honestly, Bethesda needs to start communicating more with its modding community.
They either start communicating, period.
Well, yeah, that would be amazing.
They as they did with Starfield, they just released it and we're like, yeah, that'll do. You guys go nuts.
Yeah, pretty much. More than anything, though, Nesmith reiterated the idea that this debate is of less importance to the end user than it's often made out to be. The engine is in service to the game. Is the game good? I don't care what the engine is. The game's good, let's play the game. Well, that only works if the game is good. We're talking about games like Skyrim in the good category, Fallout New Vegas, Fallout 3 is pretty reasonable, Oblivion, so on and so forth. As we've just discussed, though, those below Skyrim, well, they aren't in actual creation engine, are they? But then we'll talk about Fallout 4. It was reasonable. It wasn't my favourite Fallout game, I must admit. New Vegas has that category pretty held tight. And then we've got Starfield right there at the new one. Now, Skyrim, amazing game. Buggy as hell, but the modders did so much to it that really fixed it. Fallout 4, pretty damn good game. The modders absolutely annihilated that game as well. Did really well with it. Starfield.
Until they decide to update it
Oh, yeah.
again and again.
Whenever they update
and
these
again.
games, it just breaks everything. Starfield, though. It's a bit too boring at times. I did enjoy it. I got really into the main campaign. I enjoyed what I played. I just thought the ending was way too abrupt. It just
How long
felt like
has Starfield been out now?
that's a damn good question. Let's check. So just like a Stardew Valley, still the very top result when you type in star. It released on the 6th of September 2023, so it has been over a year since I have purchased this, and I've only just completed it.
And I tell you, like it still receives, especially considering you got DLC, it's still receiving frequent updates. So it's unlike, well, not frequent, but like it's gonna stop modders from doing anything significant because they're gonna have to scratch a lot of stuff and restart it because of the update.
Yeah.
Which means it's already at a disadvantage from Skyrim in comparison because you're not going to be able to see the likes of overhauls being
I
made
get that.
because they're going to have to. The game's going to get updated. They're going to have to redo a whole lot of the mod and whatever they're doing. A lot of things are going to just not work because the game's been updated.
You see, this is where this bit comes in. Now, there's a reason I pulled this up, and it's because, well, me and Will were discussing just beforehand how Skyrim alone has got, well, the amount of downloads gives roughly the population count of Earth a run for its money. But if we look all the way down here, there's Starfield. And that's at a solid 60 million downloads, which is fairly impressive.
I mean, it's already on like the front page of Nexus.
Yeah.
That's enough of wow.
You've done something silly, is the typical answer. But
is that a Bethesda game?
If I just go to the top files here, script extender, that's expected. Libraries, yep. We all know what Sky UI is from Skyrim. It's basically just Starfield's version. Achievement enabler.
Is that just a screenshot from Skyrim with a chicken with something on its head?
Yes.
With a fucking
it's a space helmet.
Helmet on it.
Yeah. Because what's the point in remaking it? Even they thought, well, Bethesda hasn't had much effort. Why should we? Community patches, more UI HUDs and stuff. Real-time patch, Outpost HUD. Oh, my favourite mod ever. Remove the fucking color filter.
I mean, it's the usual sort of stuff that you'll see if you would go to the most popular stuff that needs you need to download first before your mods will work, like the script extender.
Oh
and
yeah.
You see the most popular stuff. So if there's, I don't know what there is for Starfield. If there's anything for character creation, it's probably going to be all the way up there.
Oh yeah, there's character creation.
The equivalent of Sky UI is going to be up there.
You know, my big thing has always been, do they have any quest mods? Because I've not seen anything. Landmark quests, become a starship designer.
Is there a skip intro?
Bounties. Yeah. Main quest overhaul. Take your time. Quest don't auto start. Track your lines delayed. Very little.
Stairs. There's stairs, Roy.
Afraid of elevators. Don't like the gnat. Look no further. Here are stairs.
I think they advertise their mod for stairs better than the Bethesda advertised Starfield.
The worst part is, I would download this because I get annoyed of jumping in and out of fucking elevators every 5 seconds. But yeah, now let's compare that. We'll go to actual, Elder Scrolls. We'll do it this way. And we'll go top files again. This is obviously longer, so it makes sense. But so we've got Sky UI first, pretty much thing. Mod Organizer 2 there. Unofficial Skyrim patch. The address library for SKC. Race menu.
The same fucking picture, just without the space helmet.
Yeah. Let's see. So we got body slide, falls, new animations. That's actually kind of dropped a bit. But if we look at what's got the most downloads in this, I'm actually kind of surprised to see it. But for a change, it is not Sky UI. I'm shocked.
I think the unofficial patch became more necessary for a lot of mods to work.
Of course.
From the last time I remember modding Skyrim, there was a lot of them that started putting it in their requirements.
Yeah. Ordinator, one of my favorite mods of all time, just changes the entirety. It's a perk system, but it works so well. All these are the top mods, and you can see why. Apocalypse Magic of Skyrim, that was one beloved by everyone, pretty much. But yeah, that's just top files in the past 2 weeks.
Yeah.
If we go to most endorsed, it pretty much remains the same. What do you expect? Skyrim's the way it is. Now, I'm going to pull up the mod pack I downloaded. And just to show people roughly, like, how much this thing changes everything.
Oh, bro, get fast. Download. Whatever. Yeah. What are you downloading?
I'm not downloading anything.
No. What's it actually downloading? No, there's nothing there.
No, Windows 10 and 11, apparently.
No. It's for Windows 10 and 11.
Yeah, I have no idea. I don't want to click that. This seems dangerous.
Oh man, don't you love stuff like that?
Oh, don't you just? So Nolvus is just mental case. It's stunning. The combat system's completely fucking different to default Skyrim.
Just those screenshots alone, you can see that that's not Skyrim.
Yeah.
It's just not.
It doesn't look anything like it, does it? Now, you saw earlier I was playing with a bow, but would you ever think that you could do this sort of shit in Skyrim?
Well, we changed the Dark Souls combat.
Pretty much. I don't like it. Dark Souls
still
combat.
Annoys me that that's just how we call that style.
Oh yeah, Souls-like combat.
Is there an actual name to it? I need to know.
Souls-like combat. I'll say. But I'm not a big fan of that combat style personally until I'll like get into it myself, I suppose. So I've just gone with archery.
I mean, I was gonna say magic and bows still exist. What more do you need?
But to be honest, even the bows were slightly changed, as you saw, because you've got the 3 modes of like shooting.
Yeah, I don't like that.
I'm actually getting used to it and adapting to it as time goes on. Thankfully, it doesn't kill my stamina. Thank fuck. But the reason I'm getting used to that as well, it depends. Like, you know how in default Skyrim it took fucking forever for your arrow to start dropping when you'd let it go.
Did it not drop really fast?
It didn't in default Skyrim for me. But
I swear it does. I had to get a mod to stop it from doing that.
Well, now
when I first decided to finally do something with bows, because I was just enjoying them as it was, I got one that basically just made the arrow extremely visible no matter what distance you were from it. Right. And that's when I first saw the drop on it, and I was like, how in the ever-loving does that make sense?
Well, this has a lot more of a realistic drop, and I'm adapting to that still. Like, I'm having to aim quite a bit higher than a fucking target a bit away, but that's also due to me being a bit of a fucking twat and only having a shitty elven bow.
Hey, you and me both.
I only have an elven bow. It's awful. But I'll be honest, it's really easy to install. It's quite large.
Don't do it if you don't have
an SSD with enough space.
What is it for Nexus though? Their whatchamacallit?
Oh, you need their premium edition.
Yeah, premium. There you go. Otherwise, you're going to be sat there for a very long time.
Right, I don't actually think the auto install will work if you don't have it.
I mean, as you can see, for the top one you can download there, 392 gig. You just go ahead and do the calculation of 1.5 megasecond.
Have you seen
that you're limited to
the requirements?
Oh yeah, kind of crazy.
Yeah,
recommended 2070 for same as ultra gameplay wise, but less heavy on vegetation and cities overhaul for better performance. Only a 2070. That's pretty good.
That's the recommended, but the minimum is 1080. So it's pretty reasonable, to be honest. I get a solid, I'd say sometimes I drop to about 50 FPS, which I can manage.
But I take it you have like the top one.
No, I have this one.
You have that one?
I could run this.
You could run the one above, no? You have a 3080 Ti, do you not?
I could run it, but my CPU would cap out. That's my issue.
I've just seen as well. They higher GPU with more VRAM needed beyond 1440p and 4090 recommended.
Yeah.
But you know what the worst part, which just shows you how insanely good Skyrim mods can be, is there will be people that will probably go and specifically buy a 4090 just to play Skyrim mod packs and overhauls.
Oh yeah. Like, I have seen some gorgeous fucking stuff done with Nolvus, because there's another one called Lorem, I think it is. Let me just check. That'll be it. Lorem. And this is another Skyrim mod pack, but graphically, it's actually got more mods than Nolvus. But Graphically, I'm not sure whether it's got roughly the same effect, but still looks really good though. But yeah, it's mental. Skyrim modding is insane. I'd actually say it annihilates anything Bethesda can do. You
I
want
love how
proof of
though
that?
it is in full caps at the top of the page. Don't install the mod list on a HDD.
Yeah, that's why I had to clear that SSD as much as I could. It's got fucking all sorts though, all listed. Oh, that's the one that fucked up for me, and I had to go and download it. Which, by the way, easiest thing in the world I've ever had to do to have a fix for something. It went, oh yeah, we can't download this mod. Okay, so I just typed it in there. I think it was Boda. So, oh no, it weren't Boda. What the fuck was it? I just saw it. God damn you. What was you called? Oh, B-Door. Sorry. Load. I don't like all these things. B-Door. Search that. Oh, look. Can download directly from a Google Drive. Downloaded it, threw it in a file. Issue resolved. I can cope with this. This is why I prefer modding and the modding communities to actual Bethesda. Especially when you compare, like, this is their recommended requirements.
2080. What?
Yeah.
What?
Yet, you're telling me I could sit and play with ease. I mean, to be honest, it actually requires less under minimum requirements than Nolvus did. But Nolvus clearly has better graphics and everything in that regard. Thank you.
Hey,
sorry
look,
for that.
it recommends my CPU.
Does it? Ah! Hey, push you. No one wants to
You're
talk.
on Starfield.
Yeah. That's just Starfield. If we go to default Skyrim, we can do the comparison.
Oh, it's gonna be abysmal.
So, Will, do you think I can run it?
What the hell? i5 2400, an i5 750. What was that? First generation.
It's fucking close.
A fucking 470, 1
Yep.
gig card. That's crazy.
I love Skyrim. And the community always agrees.
A live action trailer.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't even know that. Oh my god. I never knew they had a live action trailer.
I love the fact that you never even knew this.
That just goes to show I did not care about going onto their store page.
Let's be honest, you did what everyone did. You went on the store, you bought the game, you downloaded the game, you never went back on the store.
I definitely didn't get a key. Don't tell
Okay,
anyone.
you didn't even go to the store then.
Oh,
Yeah.
I actually don't remember what method I used to acquire the game.
Neither do I.
And that's a lot of scrolling down purchase history to find out.
I love that they tried to take jobs away from modders. Just watch this. Original Buggy Mess. Remastered. Wow.
Nah, don't get it wrong. It does look, in comparison to the base game version that it used to be, it does look a hell of a lot better.
Oh, it looks stunning.
But in comparison to the modders, there's no difference between the base game and their remaster game.
At some point, I'll get a clip to compare between like what I've got on Nolvus and this, because I think that would just be funny.
I mean,
Anyways.
at that point, just go in, free cam it, get a quick little snip of you getting the cinematic of a forest, and then put it side by side.
Yeah. It would be an absolute slaughter.
It would be a completely different game.
I mean, it bloody feels that way, mate. But I'm enjoying it. Anyways, we'll finally move away from Bethesda for the rest of the day. I promise.
I mean, kind of sad to say that Bethesda's as fucking stupid as they are, they're still great.
Oh yeah, 100%.
They did some of the best stuff out there.
They fucked up lately, but they're still a reasonable company.
All they do is fuck up, and if you think about it.
Well, that is
but
true.
The difference is they just let people go fucking crazy with the game.
Yeah, I mean, the day they try and stop modding is the day Bethesda loses any good faith remaining.
It's the day they burn to the ground.
Yeah,
because people will just not buy their game. Oh, can't mod it, don't care.
Exactly.
Because let's be honest, if you couldn't mod it, you're just gonna be playing a buggy mess that crashes every 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Or you go into this one area, you fall through the map that is like impossible to pass it without accessing console to no clip through it.
I've got to say.
Or one little corner of the map that will always crash your game no matter what.
I would be in fucking hysterics if it turned out that Bethesda just basically release a game, prevent modding entirely, and it turns out it's a masterpiece of a game, but because and they've got no bugs whatsoever, it's perfect as is, but because they prevented modding, everyone just kind of goes, no, not touching it. And that's the game that destroys the company.
That's the name they've wrote for themselves. If they ever were to go back on it and prevent people from doing it, that's what would happen. It doesn't matter how good or how perfect their game would be, they would just lose so many people.
Oh, of course they would. Of course they would. It'd be funny though.
It would be a true downfall.
Oh yeah, completely. So
it would be a marvel to witness as well.
Oh yeah, it would give us stuff to cover for weeks. So, Hogwarts Legacy Definitive Edition is reportedly in the works. The new content suggests
that... We haven't heard much about Hogwarts, have we?
Not since, no.
I think the last thing we really covered was the multiplayer.
Yeah.
And even at that, there wasn't really much to say about it other than the modders that did this Skyrim multiplayer weren't now working on Hogwarts multiplayer. I don't even think we even saw if it had a final version or anything.
No, I don't think we did. I think it's still out.
Oh, it would still be out, but what point did they get to? Hogwarts.
Did they finish it, or
is there not a Nexus link at the top?
It could be, but it just doesn't seem
just more to see. Well, surely they'll have something. Well, still, still on version 0, so.
Well, yeah, but they last uploaded the 6th of September.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Okay.
That's a fair amount of players.
Now all they need to do is make it that you can play. Literally just rewatching Harry Potter. I've already forgotten the name of the sport. Quidditch. Now you just need to make it that you can play that with all multiplayer, and then that'll be our new esports. Oh. They'll probably make it better than them, let's be honest.
Yeah, probably.
It's modders, man.
I do like, though, that they decided, for some reason, to bring in the old PS1 Hagrid as a mask. And I absolutely adore that. That's amazing.
That's great. That's great to see.
They knew their audience. That's all there is to that. They knew their audience. I love it.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, this is a thing, and it works. Yeah, jump back. So, The last thing we actually heard is that they were working on a sequel, which I'm still excited to hear more about because the first game went fucking phenomenal. A new report suggests that Hogwarts Legacy will finally get some DLC with additional story content and a definitive edition. Now that's what I want to hear. More content.
Absolutely, that's what we all want to hear.
I'll just end up replaying the fucking game.
Why is Suicide Squad in this? Third paragraph.
I know why. I know why.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Hogwarts Legacy was one of the top-selling games of 2023, and its enduring popularity has kept this corner of Harry Potter's wizarding world alive. While there isn't any definitive word about a sequel yet, a new report states that Hogwarts Legacy DLC could arrive sooner than expected. According to Insider Gaming, Warner Bros. Games is developing a Hogwarts Legacy Definitive Edition that will feature 10 to 15 hours of new content, including an additional story quest, side missions, costumes, and more. It will reportedly also be available as DLC for gamers who have already purchased Hogwarts Legacy. I'd be fine with that. Let me buy an upgrade.
Average completion time?
Average
for Hogwarts
completion
Legacy?
time?
Let's see how much of like an increase.
Oh,
Wow.
26 hours. I don't trust that. Let me go on how long
Yeah,
to
that was for 100%. Oh my
26
god.
and a
Never
half hours
mind.
for main story. Main and
Damn.
side, 44 and a half. Completion is 69 and a half. All stars, 47 hours.
Crazy. But then they're claiming another 10 to 15 hours to add to that.
I trust this more
good.
because people have to like put in their own data, and then it's like the average of all those. It works across all platforms, so it's more interesting to me. Damn, them Nintendo fucking Switch gamers do not fucking slack, do they?
Then again, what was the graph underneath though? Because PC had like 58% or something.
Yeah, I think they were just like had like some of the most players.
Yeah, so it's gonna be easier for them down below that.
Yeah. PC 3,613, PlayStation 5 2,193, Xbox Series X or S 530, PlayStation 4 113, Nintendo Switch 27, Xbox One 24.
Yeah, only 17 on the thing.
Yeah.
For Switch as well. So
Can see why.
we've got a lot more people averaging in, and not everyone's going to be as sweaty as them little Nintendo Switch players. Oh my god, slowest time 194 hours. What were you doing?
That's a damn good question.
Bro was practicing his Patronus spell charm.
So, I don't even know how to respond to this.
I'm obsessed with that didn't make you laugh as much as it did me. I'm quite disappointed with you.
With me? How dare you?
He was in the room of requirement for 100 hours practicing his Patronus charm, you know?
I get it. I got the joke.
Nah. I'm done with you. That's it. I'm quitting. Handing in my notice.
Sorry guys, last episode, now it's just That Talks. The report suggests that the definitive edition and associated DLC may arrive as soon as 2025, in part because Warner Bros. Games wants to offset the ongoing losses that occurred from the massive underperformance of Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League.
Emphasis on massive underperformance, please. I was also sitting thinking to myself, wow, 2025, that's still quite a ways away. No, it's not. It's a month and a half away.
How's that? Sorry, had to put the space in. So there we go. We've emphasized the word massive underperformance. Fucking huge underperformance. As recently as last month, Warner Bros. Has stated that making a Hogwarts Legacy sequel is top priority. Getting the DLC out may make the wait between the first game and its follow-up more bearable. Well, the franchise...
But at the same time, they used time that they could have used making the sequel, making the DLC. So it would have shortened the time.
I'm not getting into that.
I've worded that really poorly. That was a complete fumble on my end. But essentially, the time they used making the DLC could have been utilized making the sequel, meaning the sequel would have been released sooner rather than later.
Yes, realistically speaking.
That was a bit better.
Yeah, a little bit. But no, I do hope for more, to be honest. When it comes to Hogwarts, I really enjoyed the first one. I'd love to see more.
Providing the DLC is actually enjoyable and isn't insanely overpriced like most things are these days. It could lead to be good. But the standards at the moment are pretty low.
The bar is about here. Anything above it is counted as a positive.
That is probably the worst reference you could have done.
I didn't.
Absolutely nothing. Just don't even think about going into paint. Move on, Roy. Let's just move on. Let's just move on before this goes too far.
Okay. A pair of devastating hurricanes recently devastated parts of Florida. I should not be laughing during this moment.
Parts? Bloody hell, the whole country's gone.
No, we wish.
I'm pretty sure it was like 3 feet of water everywhere.
Yeah, there was parts that were getting like between 10 and 15 feet of water.
There were bloody reptiles moving into the houses, man.
Sounds like Florida.
Yeah.
The worst part is, they don't even seem to make buildings out of brick. They make them out of wood.
Because they're going to get wiped out anyway. Wood's cheaper, probably.
Yeah, but brick's more likely to keep the foundation. So anything that you build on it can be rebuilt.
Alright, let's see. Let's have chunks of wood flying around, which can be disposed of easily. Or let's just have thousands and thousands and thousands of bricks flying around in a hurricane. That sounds wonderful. Because the hurricane isn't bad enough on its own. Let's just throw a few thousand bricks in with it.
Will, it helps with our conquering of America. Remember this.
Just bricks get launched out left, right,
we're in for the long haul here. Apparently there's a hurricane coming down into England soon. So.
Yeah, did you see the BBC mess up and put that we were going to have like 1,598 mile/hour winds?
No.
I'll see if I can find it real fast.
While you do that, I'll keep reading. Devastated parts of Florida and surrounding states, and many might be wondering what they can do to help. The American Red Cross is one of the organizations helping to provide relief to people affected by natural disasters. And you can help those efforts by playing games on your Xbox. I don't own an Xbox. Xbox users can convert their Microsoft Rewards points, we can actually do this on PC, just realised that, into donations to the American Red Cross for the recent Milton and Helene hurricanes.
Sorry, I stand corrected. It was 3,509 mile/hour winds. Someone messed up.
And people wonder why I don't like the BBC's existence.
Here, I'll send you a snip. The number doesn't even fit inside their little box.
Huh.
Yeah.
Lovely.
That was obviously reporting like the hurricane-esque stuff we're getting coming in.
Yeah.
Someone definitely put a typo.
Oh, didn't they just?
My
Um.
partner was like, maybe they just hit an extra number or like added something else in, and I was like, or like forgot decimal point. So even if there was just an added number, you're still talking over 300 mile per hour winds.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's category 5 and higher right there.
Hmm. Mental case, my friend. Mental case. Xbox users can convert their Microsoft Rewards points into donations. Microsoft has held similar donation campaigns with the American Cross before, including an effort to raise money and awareness for COVID-19 relief back in 2020. So basically, you
Oh, a
can use your
terrible
Microsoft Reward
idea.
points for donations.
Yeah.
I quite
It's
like that.
essentially instead of using your points to get a game that was £10 for free,
Yeah,
with your points, you would essentially just donate the £10 instead, which is good. Considering I've seen the TikToks of it all.
hmm.
There's like tens of thousands of people have basically just no home.
Yeah,
There's I
it's
think there's now
horrific.
quite a few deaths reported too. Like it's a chaotic place to be.
To put it lightly, my friend, put it bloody lightly.
Yeah, I have a friend who lives in Florida, and I actually sent them a message the other day and was like, "So you still alive?" Thankfully, they were. I had a fairly quick response.
I'm sure that was unusual for you.
Well, I mean, it was only taking a week for another one to be coming in as well at that point. So
Jesus Christ.
yeah,
So apparently, I actually have some points available to be redeemed. So
a few.
yeah, let's take a quick look at this, shall we? So it was the Red Cross, yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you
There you
can
are.
don't. I don't think I had the actual Red Cross, but it was. Let's see if I can just type in. Nope. I don't. I think it's because we're in the UK and we're not in the US.
I don't think they would limit it because there were some coming up.
You'd hope not, wouldn't you? I see like there's some of these here, like different care ones and stuff. But yeah.
It would be there somewhere.
Hmm. Yeah, it's all UK stuff.
Hmm.
British Red Cross Society. Yeah.
I guess
So
you
all
probably
UK.
give to the British Red Cross one, and maybe they're like giving parts of their donations to the US one to help Florida.
Possible. So the part I was dreading covering for the past 2 weeks, I've like purposefully not covered this.
There was a large thing with Ubisoft saying this. I believe we briefly covered it once or twice. It popped up. I
Yeah,
don't
yeah, we
remember
did.
how long ago or how often, but I do recall quite a few different posts, pretty much the same posts, but it popped up a few times of Ubisoft
Yeah.
saying you better get comfortable not owning your games or something along the lines of that.
Yep. Because as time passes, we're becoming more and more digitally focused. And as we go to digital, you no longer own your game, you own a license to the game, which is completely fine.
Actually, yeah, it's essentially the same thing. It's just the problem with that is without having the physical copy, we have to put our faith that we're not going to get cut off from that game,
Yeah.
which we did discuss quite a bit whenever we were talking about live service games being closed down.
Yeah. The Crew
Because
was a
that,
big one
yeah,
where
that is
that actually happened.
essentially the money you paid to play that game is now just gone. You don't get the money back. You don't have the game to play. You don't get any compensation. It's
Yeah.
just gone.
The part that annoyed a lot of people about the Crew, though, was that a lot of people had actual disc versions, but they didn't shut down the game by like just stopping it working and removing people's licenses. No, they shut down the servers entirely. So that was a bit sad.
What my worry is with that kind of thing is what about free to play games in the current big genre of battle royales, where people have paid thousands, and I literally mean thousands and thousands, for all the skins and the different items that you can buy, the different cosmetics. And then what if one of those decides that, oh, we're done, we're closing, we're taking the service down,
That's it.
and that's it. What
That's
can you
it.
do there?
You can't. You literally can't.
And that's the issue we're going to be running into.
Oh yeah. Of course it is, but because this is only the first couple of years of it, you've actually touched on a very good point there, because this is something we've not bumped into yet. But it's only going to be a matter of time. And there will be absolute uproar when it does.
Yeah, the live service games, like you got Fortnite and you got Apex, they're the two that come to my mind that are absolutely huge. Like, what happens when they either just can't be bothered making more ideas, but they've made more than enough money and they're just like, let's just call it. They're like, what do you do? People aren't going to play the same thing forever. The main reason that those live service games are still going is because they keep making things for it. They change it up. They keep changing statistics of different weapons or different stats, or adding more playable characters such as Apex, or in Fortnite they keep rotating and adding in new weapons. Right? Really, when they stop doing that, or they just can't think of anything more, which is going to happen eventually.
There's only a matter of time. There's a shelf life to every game out there. That is true.
Other than Skyrim, apparently.
Yeah, Skyrim's shelf life doesn't exist. It just is the shelf life.
It just is the shelf.
Yeah. I mean, according to Bethesda, it's its entire product 7 times over. But that's neither here nor there, is it?
Yeah. But rotating back around to what we're about to cover, that we don't actually own anything. What do you do at that point whenever a game like that you can actually like put more money into for getting cosmetics and stuff? What do you do when that decides that it's taking it down?
I'm honestly not sure. That is something I think I'd have to look into a fair bit.
I don't think we've really had a case of it yet.
No.
And that's probably why you'll probably find little to nothing on it. Because I would say, being a live service game, it's the last thing you want to happen.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, if you are in that company, why would you want to stop that? Why would you want to stop doing it when you're making as much as you are from the constant, probably tens, maybe hundreds of thousands of people constantly buying more of the cosmetics? Tons of money.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a fair question. MMOs are probably the best way. Oh, you actually removed and archived the post. That's a sad one.
He was probably paid off.
What happens to all of our money if the game we paid for containing in-app purchases gets removed / discontinued? 3 years ago, this was. You aren't paying to own something, you're paying to use something. It's like paying for shoes at a bowling alley. When the bowling alley closes, you don't get your shoe money back. You aren't licensing the use of the item. You are licensing the use of the item. You don't own the skin, hat, whatever. You don't own the source art. You can't use it in another game. You can't resell it. It can legally be taken away if you violate the terms of its use.
But with the game closing down, we're not violating anything.
No. Correction,
well,
you paid for a
I
license
seem
to use something.
to have given you homework, Rory.
Well, I'd agree, but I think what these guys are saying is pretty much right. You paid for a license to use something. You used it, now it's gone. The game would go just the same way the licenses to those items would go. It's the exact same thing. For example, from what I recall, there was a load of skins in like Fortnite and stuff, and they had to remove a bunch of them because things came out about people. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't touch drama. But
You saying
They
that there was a tree door skin for Rust. It's for a wooden door, and that got took down due to, I believe it was stolen art. My friend was saying to me the other day.
yeah.
And that's why, at one point in time, because there was probably only a mere handful of these skins that actually ended up getting released to people because they bought it when it was released or something.
Yeah.
And that's why it was, at one point in time, the highest costing skin on Rust at, I think, over $7,000 for a
Collectible.
skin. Yes, because you will never, there's never a way to get another one of that. And there's a limited, and I mean a very limited amount of them.
So realistically, Will, what you're saying is, if we make a skin for Rust with stolen
You make
artwork
it. You
in it,
you make a whatchamacallit. You make like a painting or a drawing or something. Throw it up on the internet. Copyright that bitch. I'll then make a skin with that without realizing. Rust uploads it, and then you be like, "Yo, that's mine."
yeah, we'll buy the skin first, and then take it down,
Yeah, we'll buy
and
like
then
100 copies.
and then we'll have the highest costing things on Rust. Be great.
Yeah.
Problem solved. Anyways, well, let's get back to the topic here. So, the biggest digital storefront for PC games on the planet. Who'd have thought it was Steam? Who'd have ever have guessed such a thing? Has updated its interface to include a disclaimer warning people that buying a game doesn't mean you own it in the traditional sense. A new banner on the site states a purchase of a digital product grants a license for the product on Steam. This is part of the terms and conditions of the Steam subscriber agreement. We all know this. The introduction of this disclaimer follows new legislation from the state of California requiring digital storefronts covering games, music, movies, and ebooks to clarify licensing terms to customers. The law comes as questions have arisen in recent years regarding what ownership means in a world increasingly dominated by digital products. As retailers continue to pivot away from selling physical media, the need for consumer protections on the purchase of digital media has become increasingly more important. It's literally just going to become a case eventually where the digital media is going to just all be this way. But sadly, it then means that we have less rights when it comes to it at the same time. So it's
It essentially just
troublesome.
means we can't do anything if the game was to stop.
Pretty much. Unless the game
Gets taken
was...
down within 10 days and refunds get issued to everyone because there was only like 72 players. Yeah. Yeah.
I love the spy dig at Concord there. I think I know what Will's most hated game of 2024 is going to be this year.
I wouldn't even say that because honestly, I know next to nothing about it other than pretty much what we've discussed. It more just makes me laugh than anything else. Yeah. Like it's kind of funny.
Yeah. So,
but also kind of worrisome for just gaming as a whole.
Yeah.
That's what we're at.
No, I get that. Final article of the day. Should be nice and well, it's either going to be a really good article.
50-50. We're walking on a bloody thin pole at the top of a circus, and it's like, are we gonna fall or are we not?
Yeah, pretty much. And I'm distracted, so
yeah, we could do ourselves in here.
A unique event in Japan gave scientists unprecedented insight into gaming's mental health effects. Okay, is this going to be good or bad?
Oh no.
A natural experiment born out of COVID-19's pandemic supply chain disruptions has allowed scientists in Japan to uncover the casual effects of video gaming. No, it's just video games or gaming. Pick one. On mental health. The findings upend common perceptions of gaming as a threat to mental well-being. Oh no. By studying individuals who won lotteries to purchase gaming consoles like the Nintendo Switch and PlayStation 5, the researchers found, I've got no idea where this is going, found that owning a console led to reduced psychological distress and improved life satisfaction.
All right, cut it off there. End the episode.
Yeah, I'm sorry. These two sentences just completely contradict each other so far.
What's the lottery got to do with it as well?
I have no idea. It's Japan.
Oh, I have won millions. Let me go and buy a console.
No, the lottery was probably for the console.
What?
Oh, said mate, it's Japan.
I don't know, man.
With nearly 3 billion gamers worldwide, gaming has become a major part of daily life for many people. However, concerns have grown over the possible adverse effects of gaming, especially as organizations like the World Health Organization has classified gaming disorder, a condition characterized by persistent gaming behavior, as a mental health issue in the International Classification of Diseases. This annoys the hell out of me because what they're classifying as a mental health issue is literally just the definition of an addiction. Why? The COVID-19 pandemic saw a surge in gaming activity, added fuel to this discussion. Many parents and policymakers began to worry about whether gaming was negatively affecting young people's mental health. However, the psychological impact of gaming has remained uncertain, as most existing research has been based on observational studies that can't establish cause and effect. Yeah, I'm sure. As parents of 3 children ourselves, we became acutely aware of the widespread concerns about video gaming. Pick one, for the love of God.
Why is there a...
I don't know. Video games affect
there's
on
not,
the youth.
There's not a letter missing, and there's no ownership, so...
I'm getting annoyed.
I need an adult.
Same. Particularly during the COVID-19 pandemic. Said study author, your name I don't want to butcher, an assistant professor at Nihon University. Many parents, including ourselves, felt guilty or anxious about their children's gaming habits, fearing potential negative consequences. These worries often create tension at home and in families. During lockdowns, when families were confined at home, with parents working remotely and children unable to attend schools or kindergarten, we noticed a surge in blog posts from parents expressing guilt and fear about their children's increased digital media use.
I am.
Go on.
So instead of going to their kids and playing board games or trying to make up some activity, they themselves went to a digital device and posted about how their children are addicted to digital devices.
Yep.
Can we get a definition of irony? Oh, wait, never mind.
That would require Google for these people. Yeah, I think we've covered quite a few times how the people who typically call out gaming as a bad thing are the same hypocrites who spend 99% of their lives on the internet just searching social media.
Don't get me wrong. When they're younger, I don't think they should be sitting in front of a screen 24/7.
Oh no.
If I had kids, just from my history of gaming, I would absolutely want them to at the very least try it.
Oh yeah.
You know, they might not like it, but the chances are they would, because there's a game there for everyone. But if they did, I don't care how much they enjoyed it, you wouldn't let them sit on it 24/7.
Oh, not a fucking chance.
You're gonna want to interact with your child. You're gonna want to take them out places, show them things, you know, because how else do you do it? They can't go and do it on their own. It's just, there's too much risk behind that.
Yeah, I mean, I'd just send mine round to yours and just say, go annoy him.
Yeah, let's play some video games. Oh wait. Like, it is your responsibility as a parent to not let them sit on the console all day. Plain and
Yeah.
simple.
Exactly that. You are completely spot on. As policy study researchers, we became interested in whether these worries were backed up by scientific evidence. Fair play. Upon investigation of the literature, we were surprised to find no conclusive evidence supporting these concerns, which further motivated us to explore this topic through an evidence-based approach. Well done, you've already stepped up ahead of most people. The study took advantage of the pandemic-era supply shortages of the Nintendo Switch and PlayStation 5 in Japan. Due to these shortages, retailers organised lotteries that determined who could purchase the console. The researchers viewed this lottery system as a natural experiment, where winning the lottery served as a randomly assigned event that determined whether someone could purchase the console and begin gaming. This setup provided a unique opportunity to examine the effects of gaming in a real-world environment, free from many of the biases that typically affect observational studies. So far, they've handled the evidence side of this pretty damn well. I've got to give to them.
Were they told though you're not allowed a console unless you won the lottery?
Pretty much, that's how it was handled during COVID, because of. Do you remember the supply shortages because of all the scalpers? Basically, you had to, if you were between so and so number, it would be your guy's turn that you'd be able to actually purchase one, and then it continue down until eventually you get picked, and then you'd be removed. Yeah, it's a really weird system, but it was what they had. The research team conducted 5 rounds of online surveys between December 2020 and March 2022, collecting data from 97,602 individuals aged from 10 to 69 across Japan.
You get some pretty good results with that amount of people.
Yeah, definitely. The surveys asked participants about their gaming habits, mental health, life satisfaction, and other socio-demographic factors. Importantly, the researchers collected information about whether participants had won a gaming console lottery and whether they were using a console regularly. The main outcomes of interest were psychological distress and life satisfaction, measured through widely used scales. The Kessler Psychological Distress Scale, K6, and the Satisfaction with Life Scale, SWLS. These tools provided a snapshot of each participant's mental health and overall satisfaction with life. The researchers also tracked how much time the participants spent playing video games and whether they owned a gaming console in order to assess how these factors correlated with changes in well-being. Before our study, the existing literature on the association between video games and mental health showed mixed results. Without casual studies, the actual relationship remained unknown, and based on association studies, we anticipated effects that could range from positive to negative, or potentially show no significant impact at all. The researchers used advanced statistical techniques. Yeah, okay. So I'm just gonna skip a lot of this because I want to get to the part that's important here.
Yeah, the bit that's actually gonna tell us what they got from it.
Yeah. They found that individuals who won the lottery to purchase gaming consoles showed reductions in psychological distress and improvements to life satisfaction. The second author of the study, was the one who was most surprised to see the results. I'm awful with names, you know this.
Not even sorry, I'm not going to butcher your name or anything. Just yep.
Yep. In this field, concerns about gaming's negative impacts are prevalent among researchers. However, our study's robust methodology challenges these preconceptions, highlighting the need for a more nuanced approach to studying digital media's effect on health. Very interesting. Specifically, owning a Switch reduced psychological distress by about 0.2 standard deviations, and owning a PS5 reduced distress by 0.1 standard deviations. Life satisfaction also improved for PS5 owners by approximately 0.2 standard deviations. While these numbers don't represent transformative changes, they point to real and positive shifts in well-being. That is very interesting to hear, I must admit. The stereotype that video games are particularly harmful to children is not supported by our data. We found that the Nintendo Switch actually showed more substantial benefits for children's mental health compared to adults. Yeah, I mean, a lot of these sort of devices, Switches in particular, and like the old school Nintendo devices, you know, your Game Boys, that sort of shit, they were particularly advertised towards kids. And they made a lot of kids quite happy because you could go out and about, and when you were bored of whatever you were doing out and about, you could just give them all that. Easy.
You gotta take into consideration as well. That's what kids are growing up with these days, and it's heavily advertised towards them. So they're gonna enjoy it because that's what they've been offered.
It's
Whereas
what they've been told.
if we go back 40 years to the typical adult these days, what they were doing in 40 years ago, that would bring them joy and make them happy and take them away from all the crap in life. Because that's how it works, you know. You get used and have fun to what you had when you were growing up, and that translates into when you get older and you continue doing stuff either the what you were doing or something similar to it.
Mm-hmm. I'm fully with you.
Like I grew up playing video games. I absolutely loved them. I didn't really enjoy much else. I did. It's something I just sat and did nothing. You know, I never was great at socializing. I pretty much hated school. And outside of that, when you're a kid, there's not much else you can do because I didn't exactly have friends to go anywhere with. So gaming it was, and I absolutely love that. And that translated to my life now.
Yeah.
And that's just how it works.
Trust me, I know a lot of this about, well, because we've known each other for that many years at this point.
Pretty much a decade.
Yeah, pretty much now. We met each other for the first time like 2 years back now, which was insane for both of us. We actually recorded one of our earlier episodes when we'd actually met up for the second time. It was fucking great. We had a really good time. But I was very much similar to Will. And ironically, one of his first ever messages to me when he just randomly reached out was, "So, you like gaming, eh?" That was it. That was the start.
Socially awkward.
Yeah, what was the start of this all these years later?
No hi, no hello, no what's up, dude? Just awkwardness.
Yeah. But to be fair, that's like a pretty good sum up of us. So yeah, for parents, it's natural to be concerned about your children's gaming habits, but our research suggests these worries may be overstated. Imposing unnecessary restrictions can create tension around gaming in your household, which may negatively affect both you and your children. A more balanced, individualized approach is recommended, keeping in mind that while gaming can be beneficial, moderation is key to maintaining those positive effects. Same with anything. Moderation's key to maintaining life.
Yeah.
That's all there is to it.
At our age, that's on us, but when it's your kid, that's on you.
Oh yeah, true. Further analysis revealed that the positive effects on gaming on mental well-being were more pronounced for certain groups of people. Sorry, brain went fucking down. For example, younger individuals and those with higher levels of initial distress experienced greater improvements in mental health from gaming. Younger individuals benefited more from owning a Nintendo Switch, while PlayStation 5 ownership had stronger positive effects for older participants.
Well, that'd be the pick up and play for a couple rounds sort of games, whereas on your Switch, you've got more single player games that you can play for a good while.
Exactly. Furthermore, hardcore gamers, those who play video games frequently and with more intensity, showed greater mental health improvements from owning a PS5, whereas
PC.
casual. Yeah, I agree. PC all the way. Whereas more casual gamers saw stronger benefits from owning a Switch. However, the researchers also found that the benefits of gaming diminished when people played for more than 3 hours per day, suggesting that moderation is key to obtaining the mental health benefits of gaming.
Rookie numbers.
I agree. But I'll be honest, this little thing does remind me a bit of a story. I see it all the time. It's a little thing that pops up on, it's like a meme thing that pops up on Facebook. And it's a photo of these two grandparents. Well, two parents. They're probably like 65, 70. Anyways, there's a photo of them, and they're sat playing Mario Kart. And below in the caption it says, "My parents have done this for like the past 20 years. Every night they'll play Mario Kart, and whoever loses has to make dinner." I just think that's fucking phenomenal. I really do like that. Balance
I
is
thought at that age it was going to be whoever loses has to get out of bed and turn the light switch on.
Balance is important. Gaming has diminished returns when it's done in excess. While we observed positive effects, benefits started to level off after about 3 hours of play per day. Too much of anything can reduce its value. So after about 3 hours, you've kind of like balanced out.
From what I'm seeing, after 3 hours, you just need to change game.
Yeah, good plan. Interesting.
That's what they're saying, right?
Yeah. Interestingly, we may not
No one
be the
take
most
advice from
surprised.
us.
Yeah, don't ever, never do that. There's a meme about this. If I'm the voice of reason, we're in a very bad situation. That's this entire podcast on general life advice.
If I'm the voice of reason, all reason has been abandoned.
Yeah. The thing is, you and me agree with each other a lot of the time. So, yeah,
So
God help Earth. Yeah, pretty much. Interestingly, we may not be the most surprised by our results. In discussing our study with other scientists, we've encountered individuals who firmly believe that video gaming must have negative effects on mental well-being and overall life quality. Some seem to hold these beliefs with unwavering conviction despite the lack of scientific evidence. Our findings, therefore, are not just surprising but also intriguing, challenging these long-held beliefs. This is the thing. So many people want it to be a problem because they don't like it. It's just personal dislike. And they hold it with such high disregard that they don't want it to exist. They want it to be seen as this awful thing that you should never do. And you turning around and saying, actually, it helps you, is definitely going to get your name dragged through the mud, but you've got proof to back up your points. Making those the unsubstantiated claims, meaning they're now going to have to come back with something, otherwise they've lost this point. With fewer opportunities for physical activity during lockdown, people may have been less likely to substitute gaming for exercise, effectively removing one potential negative pathway through which gaming might impact mental health. Given these unique circumstances, it is possible that our current estimates of gaming's positive effects may have been higher compared to what we might have found pre or post pandemic. However, we do not believe the pandemic is solely responsible for the beneficial effects indicated in our study. Multiple mechanisms through which gaming can positively impact the mental health are outlined in our paper. I'll cover these last three major paragraphs, and then that will be it, really. So, our long-term research goals are multifaceted. First, we aim to uncover the underlying mechanisms that explain the positive effects of gaming on mental health well-being. This could include exploring whether video games provide physical activity through exergames, just exercising games. Yeah, I get you. Satisfy basic psychological needs, foster social connection, enhance cognitive engagement, offer meaningful experiences, and provide stress relief. I can tell you for a fact, games can do all of the above. Exercise games. Me and Will have played climbing and almost died.
Oh my God, don't even.
Psychological needs. I've played Stardew Valley. Foster
Hell yeah.
social connection. I talked to this cunt.
Educational as well. Just
Yeah,
throw some carrots in the ground, water them each morning, and then rip them out of the ground. Easy.
exactly.
There you go. Your food.
Enhance cognitive engagement. Play any shooter for 5 minutes. Offer meaningful experiences. There's multiple games that
Bonding
actually like
ambivalence.
bonding ambivalence. Yes, what a game. Provide stress relief. Just let me
Maybe
shoot
not
people.
bonding ambivalence.
Yeah, just let me
How do we
shoot
do
people.
this? Oh, our time limit is gonna blow.
Yeah, pretty much. I fucking love that game. I really wish I'd have recorded that back then or streamed it. Understanding these and other potential mediating variables could help explain why and how video gaming positively impacts mental health and whether these effects persist across different contexts and gaming formats. With a deeper understanding of these mechanisms, we hope to develop models that can predict the effect of specific gaming experiences on individuals. This knowledge could lead to practical applications, such as personalized game recommendations on online platforms. Unlike current systems that primarily aim to increase sales, these recommendations would be designed to enhance players' enjoyment and well being. Ultimately, our goal is to contribute to improving the overall gaming experience and well being of players through evidence based personalized approaches. The widespread belief in gaming's negative effects significantly impacts public perception. Many parents feel guilty or excessively worried about their children's video game habits, fearing potential negative consequences. These concerns can create unnecessary tensions at home despite the lack of scientific evidence. During the COVID-19 pandemic, we became primarily attuned to these worries and began to exploring the evidence-based approach to address this topic. Our study now provides robust scientific evidence to ease some of these worries. As both a father and a mother of 3 wonderful children, they hope their research can offer some reassurance to parents in similar situations. You know what? I'd say that study perfectly qualifies to what we've been saying all these years.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
But can we talk about how when we grew up, it was all video games cause violence. You shouldn't be
Yep.
on video. You shouldn't be playing video games. You shouldn't be doing this. You shouldn't be doing that. They do this and they do that. And now all it is oh yeah, video games are great in moderation.
Yeah.
Whereas before it was you shouldn't touch them.
Yeah, should never be used. Video games are the worst things to ever exist.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, if me and Will ever end up hostages, there will be signs. We will say things that aren't normal. So you might not notice, but there'll be signs.
Video games are the devil.
Yeah. But I quite like that article. I think actually it was really well done. Very, very interesting. Actually,
I
probably
think
one of
that's
the better ones we've
the
had.
first thing we've really ever seen where they're actually trying to put good reason behind video games rather than just saying they're the worst thing.
Well, I think what mattered more on that one was they didn't come at it with a agenda already. The
Yeah.
agenda they had was they saw these posts on the internet. They have children themselves. They're in the middle of the pandemic. What is it going to affect? Is this going to be good for them? Is it going to be bad for them? Because at the end of the day, they're looking at it from the idea of we're parents, we only want what's best for us kids. Whereas a lot of people just immediately, no, they're dreadful, they're awful, I don't like them, can't stand them, they're the worst things to ever exist, Satan controls them, blah, blah, blah. You know. So,
Dracula coming in here, dude.
yeah. It's just one of them things. So, personally, I think it was really well done, well written, and it had some really fair points. And to hear them say that they're actually wanting to see an improvement in the actual gaming structure to actually enhance the gaming experience is equally amazing. So, completely completely back that up. 100%.
It's nice as well to see that people that might not have as much involvement with gaming aren't just straight depicting it as complete negativity.
Yeah.
Because anyone who, especially people who don't touch video games at all, seem to have this sort of view on video games and just gaming as a whole that it's terrible. It's really bad, and it does this to you and stops you from doing that, and so on and so forth.
Average gamer is some fat, ugly guy who lives in his mother's basement.
All right, where's the camera?
Doesn't have any girlfriend, can't socialize, doesn't go out and see friends.
About 90% of this is true. Can we stop?
Yeah, about 90%. Sorry, we're in relationships, the both of us. We both live in his own places, so we're out. We're doing pretty well there.
Mine wasn't my choice.
Yeah, true. Mine was. We can both leave the house or flat or whatever.
Don't want to.
Shut the fuck up. If you were given the choice, you'd come back over here.
It's more have to rather than want to.
If you were given the choice, you'd come over here.
Obviously.
Exactly.
As we discussed yesterday, don't need a choice. or at least you won't have a choice.
Wait, what? Well, if I don't appear on the podcast for a few weeks, I've been kidnapped.
Oh yes, because that's just going to be the worst for you, isn't it?
Oh no! Whatever will I do? I've been kidnapped to play games for a few months in hiding.
On an island.
Yeah, that we've already picked out. Totally not. Anyways, it's been a weirder episode this week, but I'll be honest, I've enjoyed it a lot more. It's been a lot more relaxed again, chilled out. It's been funny. It's been a good one. I've enjoyed it.
You can't go wrong when you're talking about the Nexus community either.
No, exactly. I mean, personally, I would just love to. I've been actually thinking about this. Well, I don't know what your opinions would be, so I'll discuss this with you now. You know how we record this every week? I've been considering the idea. Would it be interesting to occasionally stream the episode at the same time as recording? Could stick it on the Twitch just chatting.
For
thing.
us personally, it wouldn't make any difference to start anyway. If people started tuning into the live stream, it could add a bit more variety, maybe questions that we wouldn't thought of ourselves.
Exactly. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Because at the beginning, obviously, it's not going to do much. But over the weeks, if people start tuning into it each week, it could actually build up something quite interesting. And we get live questions, stuff like that. Yeah, it was just something I thought about, because I'd stream it on Twitch. That way it's something different to YouTube. Because we've got his YouTube where it goes out to, typically. And I'd just do Twitch for like questions and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That'll be something to look into. Anyways, without further ado, thank you all for watching. It's been a hell of an episode. Really enjoyed it. And we will catch you all in the next one. Bye for now, guys.
See you next week, guys.